Hello, dear friends. Now, previously I talked to you about the importance of your thyroid health, and I talked about how essential oils can support many aspects of what can cause your thyroid to be deregulated. This can be things such as stress, immune imbalances related to autoimmunity, how they support the microbiome and the gut brain link. Modulating hormones either directly or indirectly, helping with different symptoms such as fatigue. And also, there have been some studies where they can directly impact neurotransmitters and cortisol response, which also is helpful for the thyroid and converting active thyroid hormone in its ability to do its job in the cells. So, if you missed that, I will provide a link in the video description to kind of an overview of the thyroid gland, some of the common thyroid disorders, and again, some basic information about how essential oils can support someone with a thyroid imbalance. So, this is actually part two of the thyroid discussion because although we covered some of the many important points about thyroid health, I didn't actually have an expert guru guest on the show yet to discuss with you evidence based functional and integrative approaches to thyroid health. Now, specifically recently, Dr. Hedberg joined us, and he is the specialist in all things related to chronic complex diseases, including thyroid dysfunction. He talks about how he actually addresses thyroid health. He touches upon underlying causes of thyroid disease that are often unlooked and unknown. We reviewed things such as infections, dietary factors, nutrient deficiencies, genetics, detoxification, hormones, including estrogen, and a lot more. And we also discussed how Dr. Hedberg approaches healing the thyroid and how essential oils play a role. Now, he excels at helping his patients and the practitioners he mentors to find the underlying causes of thyroid disorders, which is so important. I have already mentioned previously how just chasing thyroid hormones can be a fruitless attempt because a lot of different things relate to the health of your thyroid, and your thyroid also regulates so many different aspects of your metabolism and physiological processes that if you just are going on symptoms and labs and trying to manipulate the levels of thyroid in the blood, what's really going to end up happening is you're not going to address the underlying triggers and you're going to still feel lousy because what's causing the thyroid to dysfunction never got addressed. So, things such as nutrition, lifestyle, natural hormones, herbal medicine, proper supplementation can help somebody get on track when their thyroid has gone awry. Now, the number one symptom of thyroid disorders that we talk about is fatigue. And Dr. Hedberg explains why someone with a thyroid disorder would be feeling low energy and how that relates to all of the different symptoms, which is really interesting because you look at all of the different symptoms for low thyroid function or even hyperthyroid or high thyroid functioning, and you see all of these different amounts of symptoms. And he explains the reason, and it's linked to metabolism and mitochondrial function. He talks about all the different factors that negatively impact the thyroid, which I went over a little bit that often are missed, especially the link between infections and how infections in the gut, including in the stomach, the small intestine, and large intestine, can cause a dysregulation in the immune function, but it can also cause a deficiency of nutrients that the thyroid needs. So, that, as well as inflammation and gut microbiome imbalances, all of those different factors can all be impacted by an infection, and they can be impacted by other triggers that we reviewed. We also talked about the basic lab test that he really streamlines to be able to diagnose a thyroid disorder. The three things that can cause an autoimmune disease, especially if one is predispositioned. We talked about the different minerals and the top two minerals that are important for thyroid health, why women are more prone to autoimmune diseases, especially Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease of the thyroid hormone. And we discussed the importance of having balanced hormones. We talked about the adrenal thyroid connection, and the connection is actually related to the feedback to the brain. right? So if we're stressed and we're releasing cortisol and epinephrine, that actually downregulates our thyroid function. And Dr. Hedberg is wonderful at explaining kind of the nuances of all of that. We also talk about gluten because you can't not talk about gluten in the thyroid, and how Dr. Hedberg kind of navigates dietary factors and why we don't need to be militant about dietary issues and how that can cause more stress and eating disorders. And we talk about other factors not often looked at for thyroid disease, such as social isolation and loneliness, which are very important triggers to thyroid disorders. They can actually cause an increase in inflammation. And we talk about how this decreases the conversion of thyroid hormones and how impact our hormone health. And then we also dive into many other topics. Of course, we talk about essential oils. We talk about clary sage, which is one of my favorites for hormonal balance. We talk about that blend from that study that I mentioned in a previous episode about peppermint, clove, black pepper, white grapefruit, and bergamot oils, decreasing fatigue in hypothyroid patients. And we talked about common lifestyle factors that many people think that they are doing a service for their health. It can actually backslide if they're not doing them correctly. So you'll definitely want to check out this episode of the Essential Oil Revolution. It is packed with important, empowering information for the thyroid. There's a lot of information out there on the thyroid. And to have a guest that's actually treated it, wrote the book on it, and has many stories was truly remarkable for me. And I was also bouncing some ideas off of him about what I see in my clinic with my clients. So be sure you tune in to the full episode. Click on the link in the video description. There'll be also additional resources there for you on essential oils and some of my offerings. And when you get a chance, if you can leave a review and subscribe to the channel, that would help us out to get the word out about the power of using essential oils in integrative, naturopathic, functional medicine, and just for your overall wellness. Have a wonderful day, and I will be back with another video real soon. I can't wait to see you again. Take good care.